Welcome to Geometry by David Ospina and Juan Pablo Gonzalez. So geometry is basically the mathematical study of shapes, lines, and points. So geometry is divided in two divisions. It's called plane geometry, plane, and for 3D shapes, it's solid geometry. So plane is 2D shapes, while solid is 3D shapes. Topic is area. So the basic concept of area is the multiplication of the sides. To find the area, you have to multiply. So our first example is a square. On a square with all the sides are the same. So let's say this one's 2. So obviously this one is 2 also. So only thing you need to do is multiply base times height. And that gives you the result. So the area of this square would be 4. So here we have some examples of the formula of area of certain shapes. Here we have the triangle. So the area of the triangle is the base times the height divided by 2. Of the kite or rhombus, it's axis x, or in this case d1, times axis y, or in this case d2, divided by 2. Then we have the trapezoid, which formula is base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. And finally we have the trapezoid, which formula is pretty similar to the one of the square, since it's base times height. Now we're going to watch perimeter. So the basic concept of perimeter is the addition of all the shape's sides. So, for example, I'm going to draw it. For example, we have a rectangle here, and this side is 2 centimeters, and this one is 4 centimeters. And this one is also 4. And 2. So basically what we have to do is make an addition of all. So 2 plus 2, 4. And 4 plus 4, 8. So 4 plus 8, 12. So the perimeter of this rectangle would be 12 centimeters. So now we're going to watch the circumference of a circle. So the formula to find the circumference of a circle is 2 times pi, which in our case is 3.1416, times however the value of the radius is. So these 2 units have to stay. These are predetermined in the formula. What can change is the radius. This can change, but the formula for the circumference is always 2 times pi times the radius. So now that we're in the topic of circles, we're going to review the area of a circle. So the formula to find the area of a circle, it's pretty simple. It's pi times whichever the value of the radius is squared. So surface area, the basic concept is the sum of all the shapes or sides of a 3D shape. So here we have a cube. So the surface area, or just area, would be the sum of all the shapes, the squares that we have here. So there are 6. So let's say each one is a a a a a and a. So it would be 6a, but then we have to square it in the case of a cube. So here are some formulas of surface area. Here we have of a rectangular prism, of a sphere, and of a cylinder. So here are angles. This topic is angles. Here we have an example of a right angle. A right angle is an angle that has only 90 degrees. The main definition of angles are a figure made by 2 rays here and here, called the side of the angles. There are many types of angles like adjacent, right, obtuse, straight, and more. All angles share an end point, which is called the vertex. Here is the vertex. Here we have an acute angle, which is 90 degrees. It has to be exactly minus 90 degrees, or minus a right angle. Here we have an obtuse, which is more than 90 degrees, but however it's less than 180, which is a straight angle. A straight angle is 180 degrees. A reflex angle is more than 180, but less than 360, or a full angle. So the first part of our conclusion is communication. So in my opinion, the concept of communication was really well developed during this year in geometry. From models we made to the topic test, and even this project, this you saw for like 10 minutes, communication is clearly shown. Thus, to communicate globally so that other people can understand us, we need to use units and proper scale on drawings so that people from all parts of the world can understand us. Because if we don't put good scale or units, nobody could understand us and there would be no communication. So, in conclusion, communication is a concept that we did develop positively with projects, tests, and more activities in which we could demonstrate that the concept of communication was developed in a positive way. So the concept of form is not only the shapes, but the organization of a task or a project. So in our opinion, form was really used a lot this year in geometry. While learning geometry, we learn new forms or shapes like trapezoid, rhombus, kites, and many more. But form, like I said before, form is not only the shapes, but the form you do things, like tasks, and organize them. So when you're studying for a test, you can study many forms and get more effective way of studying. Another example could be when the teacher is teaching a class and she teaches you a unit or a topic in many forms For example, first he introduces the topic, then he makes a test, then he makes a project, and then he concludes the topic. In conclusion, forms are used globally to explain things in a more simple and understandable way.
Yay!